Hello and welcome to Weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, a look at the highlights. Interview with Dean Academic Affairs. Sensitization program on human rights held. And two-day workshop on open access concludes. Now the details with your host Binish Ali. Dear students, we know you're waiting for the conduct of Entrance Examination 2017 for various postgraduate courses. The university this week announced that the entrance examination will commence from April 29th. The Quest team received a lot of queries from students on entrance examination getting delayed and many other questions related to it. We had a chat with Dean Academic Affairs Professor Mohammad Ashraf Wani and posed before him some of those queries. The first question we asked him was, why was there so much delay in the entrance examination considering that the university normally finishes and conducts entrance examinations in March?
This is the legacy of the last year's disturbed conditions. Because of that, we could not conduct our classes for a few months. As a result, our exams also got delayed. So we had to extend our academic year up to the Feb 2017. And consequently the results also got delayed. So there was no other alternative but to postpone because unless the result is out, we will not be able to make admissions. Results have to be declared simultaneously. That's why we had to postpone our conduct of entrance test.
Last year, the university came up with a novel initiative of having morning and evening shifts in the PG departments. Is it going to be continued this year? To which he said,
you see, this time again, because of the legacy of floods, presently we have 3 semesters simultaneously. We will be having the classes of 3rd and 4th semesters, and then we will be having the 1st semester also. So 3 classes simultaneously we have to run normally. Therefore, there is no space for conducting the classes of 2nd shift. Therefore, we may have to postpone this decision for this year at least.
Professor Wani said that the university is also thinking of reducing credits from the existing 96 to 72 for the students.
This is under consideration. We feel that the existing credits are too heavy for the students. We may have to revisit this policy and hopefully that credits may be reduced to 72 in future.
The Quest team asked him that for the past 3 years we have seen disturbance in the academic schedule due to various turbulences. Now this year the academic session will start in mid-May, which usually commenced in April. How will the university compensate this time?
This will be made up for by extending our academic year. We may have to conduct our classes during winter vacation also. And by this policy, we may be able to compensate the time lost by the students on account of the circumstances beyond our control.
The Dean Academic Affairs said that the entrance for integrated 5-year courses will be shortly announced after the conduct of PG entrance test.
The notification for 5 years integrated courses will be issued after the completion of the entrance test in PG courses.
Professor Wani also gave some instructions for the students and told them that they can avail the internet facility in the campus.
The students should carefully go through the instructions which are available on university website so that they do not commit any error while filling up the forms or attempting the questions during entrance test. And besides that, if any student faces any problem on account of non-availability of internet facilities, they should come to the university. We have internet facilities available in the university and it will be open to all such students. Therefore, they should take benefit of this facility and not make any excuse that we do not have any internet facility available at their respective places. Secondly, our office will be open on 23rd of this month, and all those students who have applied under reserved category quota, the information regarding their roll numbers, etc., that will be available in the office. They should contact the office, which will be open on 23rd, and get the requisite information or the documents regarding the entrance test.
The Faculty of Law organized a 2-day All India workshop for teachers training and sensitization program on human rights. During the program, participants were trained for curriculum development, preparation of teaching materials, intensifying areas of interdisciplinary programs, selection of appropriate teaching methods, and inculcation of human rights awareness and knowledge of teachers. The 2-day workshop also exposed the participants to the acute problems of the socially excluded sections of the society. The workshop was aimed at learning through mutual exchange of experiences by imparting new social concerns. On the valedictory day, many eminent legal experts were present. Presenting the welcome address, Head and Dean, Faculty of Law, Professor Mohammad Hussain, stressed the need for new pedagogies for understanding tolerance.
Tolerance usually is directly proportional to the awareness. And then the more aware you are about your rights, the more tolerant one should become. I mean, basically it's the time and the place which ultimately drives you for doings or non-doings. Therefore, those are to be very important. There is only one thing permanent, and that's change in the nature, in the activities of the human beings. The change is an only permanent thing, and this change has to be there. We need to change about the human rights. We need to have a shift in the mindsets. So for teaching this subject to the students is concerned, we need to have different pedagogies and different methodologies, as I said in my opening remarks, that we need to change in the pedagogies and the methodologies. So for teaching human rights is concerned, because day in and day out we are confronting new kinds of issues and we have to address those new kinds of issues.
Professor A.R. Matta, in his appraisal of the papers presented during the 2-day workshop, said that many suggestions put forward were worth to be put in practice.
The other idea that was flown was a suggestion for the Faculty of Law here to the University of Kashmir that Human Rights Center or Human Rights Clinic, to be very precise, needs to be opened, and probably University of Kashmir is in a right position to have such a clinic opened up somewhere in the vicinity or somewhere in the center of the town. Apart from that, I appreciate Professor Shaukat's presentation today, who gave a very systematic presentation of the present scenario of human rights as it is contained in the texts and the challenges that are being faced by the teachers of the human rights in the universities, and his suggestion that a teacher of human rights needs to, in the first place, read, understand, appreciate and inculcate and imbibe the whole thing within himself. Then alone he would be a successful teacher in transmitting the knowledge to the students.
Former Vice-Chancellor of the National University of Study and Research, Ranchi, Professor A.K. Kaul, opined that human rights should not be discussed from ordinary perspectives.
Human rights have to be deliberated not from the perspective of an ordinary pedagogy whereby you are repeating the provisions of the conventions and covenants or any of the charter which has been accepted by governments across the board, and obviously you have to have a critical mind and analysis that human rights, they must be taken on a high pedestal in the context of the law faculty, academic administration. You may have to open up human rights centers, human rights clinics, and the students of this place, they must be told the pros and cons of existential reality of the state in question, and they must be in a position to have an approach whereby they can filter as to what is happening, not happening, should have happened, should happening in the field of human rights violations and otherwise.
Former Dean and Head, Faculty of Law, Professor Abdul Salam Bhatt, while reviewing the workshop, said that the papers presented were of the highest quality.
Well, at the beginning of this new millennium, that is 21st century, no country can take a pride on its record of human rights. As per estimates, I must say that there were 100 million deaths due to armed conflicts in the 20th century. And I must also say that there were 120 million deaths due to political civilian conflicts. As per Human Resource Development Reports of 1998 is concerned, where it has been said that in the beginning of the 20th century there were 5% deaths, but in 1990 the toll had reached above 90%. So well, this speaks, you see, of the necessity, of the relevance and the timely conduct of the present seminar.
Professor K.F.S. Mahajan questioned that when people do not respect human beings, how can one care for human rights?
We do not have regard, when we do not have love and affection for others, each other, then how can we have respect for each other? So when we do not have respect for each other, we do not have respect for the human beings, how can we have respect for the human rights? Human rights is nothing else other than respect for the human being. So that needs to be cultivated. That is going away, that is going far away from us, that is going at a long distance from us. So there is need of that, and for developing it, it is, I do not say that the human right education is irrelevant. Is irrelevant. It needs to be done the way it is being told to us by the learned friends. But apart from it, that basic need of cultivating that human right culture, the cultivating of human values and ethics, that needs to be imbibed, that needs to be inculcated among each one of us. So that is the need of the hour, that is the need of the time, that is the need of the country and the world as a whole.
Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir, Professor Mehrajuddin Mir, in his presidential address, opined that definition of human rights has not changed.
It appears the definition and the concept of human rights is now totally changing. When I used to teach law of torts, just it came to my mind when the discussion was over here, when it was said what is damnum sine injuria and injuria sine damno, we used to go a bit backward. That is where from it emerged. Then we came to know that it emerged from writ, then writ of trespass on the case. And in those days what it was meant might is right. Jiski lachi, uski bans. It was a definition of this taught in the early stage when this has yet to develop. Rather law when it was just coming up in the civilized society. Whenever we come to know about the level, magnitude of the violation, obviously you will have the sleepless nights. Why sleepless nights? Because you can't react, because you are not in a position to raise your voice. This is what now is coming in the form of new dynamics of our country, new dynamics of the world.
Assistant Professor, Department of Law, Dr. Hina Basharat conducted proceedings of the function. A two-day workshop on open access platforms and research organized by the Department of Library and Information Sciences concluded. Library professionals, faculty members, scholars and students from the university and other academic and research institutions of India participated in it. The workshop was held to make the academic community aware of open access literature available online. During the day-long workshop, various experts delivered lectures on different aspects of open access literature available online for different fields of specialization. They also discussed open online journals, books, libraries, repositories, newspapers and archives. They said digital era has set new trends of accessing information and has reduced the scholarly barriers to a greater extent.
Even if whatever you type on your computer, that can also be accessed even if you have not saved that data. What you type and you just erase it back with backspace, that can also be, that information can also be got from what you have typed. That's not safe unless and until it's not encrypted. That's why you might have seen banks provide a separate keyboard, online keyboard, where there are mixed keys. They are scattered, they are not in this form ASDFG, so that this random entry of keys cannot be easily detected.
With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you have missed some part of the program, you can log on to emmrckashmir.com where you can watch the whole episode. Do send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. Liberating education consists in acts of cognition, not transferals of information.